All right, and across our borders, President Yoweri Museveni has been re-elected for his 6th term amid accusations of vote rigging by his main rival, Bobi Wine. The incumbent won almost 59% of the vote, with Bobi Wine trailing with about 35%, according to the Electoral Commission. Wahiga Mwaura has been in Uganda for the past week and joins me now with the latest from Kampala. Wahiga, I understand that the president was speaking not too long ago. What did he say?
Well, Victoria, believe it or not, he's still addressing the nation. He started speaking about 45 minutes ago or so. He's had a lot to say, but let me break it down into 3 basic messages. One, he was very happy with the way the election went. He thanked the people of Uganda for voting and exercising their civic rights. Secondly, he's termed it as the cleanest election in Uganda's history. Why is he saying this? Because he says the technology that was used with the biometric voter verification kits, where people identified via their fingerprints, in his view, is the reason why it was the cleanest election yet. But we do know that there were incidents at various polling stations where some of those kits did not work. So some may question that, but nevertheless, the president says he's satisfied with the way the whole process was carried out. One other message that came out, he said he will not allow instability in Uganda again. He was referencing an incident back in November when protests broke out in Kampala after Bobi Wine was arrested for allegedly flouting COVID-19 guidelines. And the protests eventually led to the deaths of over 50 people in Kampala. And he said that's not going to happen again. He went on to warn foreign agents, and he's been speaking about that quite a bit, saying they will not use local actors to destabilize the nation. Thereafter, the president talked about what the NRM has done for the people of Uganda and will continue to do. Some clips have been played as well, and that's just a snapshot of the speech that he's giving as he continues to address the nation even as we speak. But a lot happened, Victoria, earlier in the day, and we captured that in this report.
You're welcome. The eyes of the nation were fixated on the National Tallying Center at the Chambogo University Sports Grounds at 3 p.m. for the announcement of the presidential results. A few minutes later, the chair of the Ugandan Electoral Commission, Justice Simon Mugenyi Byabakama, announced the winner of the poll with total votes cast at 9.9 million against 18 million registered voters.
Candidate Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, having obtained the highest number of votes in the election, and the votes cast in his favor being more than 50% of the valid votes cast at the election, the Electoral Commission declares Yoweri Museveni Kaguta elected President of the Republic of Uganda.
The NRM flag bearer, President Yoweri Museveni, clinched 5.88 million votes, which translates to 58.64% of total votes cast, trailed by National Unity Platform flag bearer Bobi Wine with 34.83% of votes cast at 3.4 million, whilst Patrick Amuriat of the Forum for Democratic Change rounded up the top 3 with 323,596 votes. The announcement led to scenes of celebration by supporters of the National Resistance Movement who donned the yellow party colors and rode around Kampala in a convoy. Despite the fact that Kampala and the greater central Uganda was swept clean by Bobi Wine's National Unity Platform party, that did not matter to these jubilant supporters.
Leo hii mzee yangu amepita. Nimefurahi sana. Kwa kazi mwenye mimi kwa nafanya Lubaga division.
Yes, I'm very happy because my president has won.
Unless any candidates appeal the results in court, once the president-elect is sworn in, he will have a fresh 5-year mandate, meaning that by the time of the next general election in 2026, President Yoweri Museveni will have been in leadership in this country for 40 years.
But 10 kilometers away from Kampala, in Chadondo East constituency, Bobi Wine's troubles were mounting. The 38-year-old had been under house arrest since morning, unable to leave his home. And new members of parliament under his party were barred from accessing him as the military and police blocked even members of the press from accessing the house. This is the tail end of what has been a chaotic campaign and election for Bobi, who has previously been arrested, detained, and at times, according to him, even prevented from campaigning by the Electoral Commission. Election observers, including the African Union, European Union, the United Kingdom, and the East African Community, are yet to give their verdict on the election process after the results were announced. When it comes to Uganda's parliament, the National Resistance Movement will still control over 60% of the August House, followed by the 7-month-old National Unity Platform Party, led by Bobi Wine, with at least 50 members of parliament. The oldest opposition party, the Forum for Democratic Change, now relinquishes the title of the largest opposition party. Wahiga Mwaura, Citizen TV, Kampala, Uganda.
All right, Wahiga, and just a quick question. In terms of what's next for Bobi Wine, in terms of his role in Ugandan politics, is he going to go the legal route? I know the integrity of the elections has been under a lot of scrutiny and it's been questioned severally. But what's next for the opposition leader?
Well, Victoria, it's very hard to say in the here and now, bearing in mind the last time we checked, he was still under house arrest. He had mentioned that he'll be meeting his party members to chart the way forward. I doubt he's been able to do that, and I'm sure he's facing the same challenge. The rest of the nation is facing no internet access, and so it's a bit hard to communicate. But earlier in the week, when I sat down to have a chat with him in an interview, he stated that he would look at possibly the legal route. He had also spoken about non-violent protests. Basically, he was going to follow the law to appeal the decision if he felt that the election was not free and fair. So we'll just have to wait and see whether members of the press will be granted a chance to talk to him tomorrow to understand what his next steps may be. But that is the situation as is right here in Kampala, Uganda. Victoria.
All right. Thank you so much, Wahiga, for that update and your continued coverage all week of the happenings in Uganda. Of course.